Welcome to City Council 360. I'm your host, Kim Womack. On this edition of City Council 360, learn more about recent City Council actions, including the next steps in the joint land use study and the implementation schedule for Bond 2012. In conjunction with Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, the City of Corpus Christi continues to make recommendations for future land use as a result from the joint land use study. The latest recommendations involve amending the Unified Development Code to add new zoning districts.
I continue to be told that our participation in JLIS is a little behind others. I don't know, because I don't travel the country, but I don't want other communities across the country going, hey, we love the military more because we got our JLIS done fast. And so with that in mind, I think it is important to implement these recommendations that we're coming up with. And I wanted to point out to the captain, I don't think the military is here saying, hey, you need to get this done. The military is our friends. We love our Navy, and it's incumbent upon us to continue to have the premier location in the country for flight training. And so as we look for opportunities to reinforce that, we need to take advantage of that, and this is one of them.
The main reason I wanted to be here today was in case there were questions that for me on this issue. From our perspective, this is about safety. It's safety for the residents and for our aviators. And then there's also another concern of noise in residential areas that this also addresses. The Navy does a fairly detailed study called an AQ study to identify specific areas where the risk is higher. That's not to say that we know there'll be a mishap there. We really don't. But it's where we know the planes, when they fly in the pattern over the airfield, that's where they are the majority of the time. And that's where we would use this kind of zoning to reduce the risk to the public. It also protects our mission because as we get those types of land uses closer and closer to the field, it restricts our ability to do certain operations at the field because we will not do certain things if we don't have the clear zone beyond the field.
It speaks to your commitment of you being here, of always looking out for the safety of the citizens, and you all be able to continue with your commitment in serving the country and the training. I say arguably that we have the best air training in the whole nation. And we'll continue that long history of a very positive relationship we have in supporting our Naval Air Base. So,
I agree, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership, and we will do everything we can to make sure we see fit that you are sustainable in your mission.
The final topic we'll look at today is the plan by City staff to implement Bond 2012 projects. The City Council was briefed on this aggressive schedule and how the projects will be managed.
We have these maps that I kind of gave you in the schedule posted to the Bond 12 website. We're going to keep that updated and live, so if any point somebody wants to know kind of where we are on projects, they will be able to go to that website. And we have it a couple ways. We have the map, the Gantt chart that I showed you on a couple earlier slides, but also if you want to look graphically by quarter what the project schedules and where we're going to be doing construction, that will be available too. So if you want to say in second quarter of 2014, where's all the construction going to be? You can actually go there and look and see where the construction is going to be based on that. And those maps look like this, where you can see throughout the city. And now this one's just streets, but you can see where we're going to be doing construction in the fourth quarter of 2014, for instance, on this one. And so those will be available. Those will be on our website, and we'll continue to make sure that those are real-time accurate and updated as we move through the process. So that's Bond 12. That's what we're planning on doing. Do you have any questions on that?
Just a couple of things. First of all, we are striving for transparency and good decision making here. Having an oversight committee is going to share some of the decision making authority. That is not an attempt to take it away from Dan, and it's not an attempt to take it away from the council. We intend to continue to report to the council and keep you briefed and updated on everything we do. We're just trying to be more transparent. That's point one. Point two, Ms. McIntyre mentioned delays with the assumption that we're actually going to have delays. I want to tell you that while delays have been a major part of past projects. We intend to eliminate them in the future. I've told Dan kind of half jokingly and mostly seriously, I only expect 3 things out of him on these projects: on time, on budget, no lawsuits. And he has worked very diligently, which I appreciate very much, to create scheduling and to begin an aggressive project management process here. And of course we're going to make mistakes as we go along, but I guarantee you this is going to be a whole lot better than it has been, and it's going to be more predictable, and we're going to be more accountable.
I recognize the risks involved, that if you do all the work and then the voters decide that's not what they want, but I think there's a reasonable expectation from a layman that you vote today and you expect it pretty soon. And I think this is your presentation is fantastic, and we are light years ahead of where we were before, and that time was light years ahead of where it was before that. So I think each year, each cycle, we're getting better, and this is really good.
I'm sure we can find the balance between the shame and getting them in on the front end.
It would be best to avoid the problems altogether by
Absolutely.
working
That
together
is the
Yes,
the
ma'am.
goal.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a goal. Doesn't seem like we have any other questions here. I will say, Dan, that it is about building blocks, and we've learned a lot of lessons in the past, and I think we've had good employees that have been through the engineering department, but we have some significant stability with your leadership and with your team. And thank you, Mr. Olson. I just want to make sure that, as we stated earlier, that they are achievable, because as we move through, and I know that you put a lot of thought into this together with our city manager and your team, as we move forward in the future bond elections, it is going to be about that consistency and about following through on a promise to the public. And so if we know ahead of time about some delays that have been out of our control, or frankly that there may have been some hiccups in our process, I'd like for us to get in front of that and be proactive and communicate that to the public in lieu of reacting to that, and make that part of our planning process, Mr. Olson. And again, a job well done. Thank you.
For more information about recent City Council actions or to watch meeting replays, visit www.cctexas.com. Thank you for joining us on this edition of City Council 360.